Welcome to Facts for Real videos. Everyone is aware that the dinosaurs were wiped out millions of years ago when a massive space object struck the globe. With the help of modern technology, experts have been able to create a new timeline that reflects what actually transpired. Also, they believe they know where the enormous asteroid originated. If another large space rock were to strike Earth, would humanity be able to survive? You'll be astonished and surprised to learn what NASA astronomers recently found. Prepare yourself to experience the catastrophe that almost brought an end to all life on Earth. It was bad enough when the massive asteroid struck the shallow waters of the Gulf of Mexico 65 million years ago. But after that, a series of further catastrophes occurred. Flames and rocks falling from the sky ignited, flooding far-off shorelines with tsunamis. The researchers discovered that there were numerous cataclysms on the Cenozoic's opening day. A new record of this chaotic day was published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Using high-resolution photos, microscopy, and computed tomography, their timeline was created. Hundreds of feet of sedimentary rock that was just recovered from Chicxulub, one of the biggest impact craters on Earth, was imaged and magnetically measured. And this is how it all started. When dinosaurs controlled the planet 65 million years ago, picture yourself standing someplace in North America and gazing up at the night sky. Probably, you noticed what appeared to be a bright light glowing off into the distance. But if you continue to observe this strange light for an hour or two, it appeared to get brighter while remaining stationary. Instead of a star, you would be viewing a sizable asteroid that is between 11 and on a direct intercept course with the Earth at a speed of 72,420 km per hour, about 45,000 miles per hour. The object is 80 kilometers broad, 7 to 50 miles. Asteroid blows through Earth's atmosphere hours later, aiming directly for the location where the peninsula of Yucatan as of now. The Earth's atmosphere behaves like water during collisions of that speed. Like pebbles dropped into a pond, meteors, which are smaller space rocks, impact the atmosphere and accelerate quickly at high altitudes, burning off energy due to atmospheric friction, whereas some larger rocks are still present and fall to Earth. Yet the Chicxulub asteroid, which is the size of a mountain, strikes our atmosphere like dumping a boulder into a puddle. In barely 3 seconds, it penetrated the whole 60 miles of airspace while maintaining its velocity. The mother of all sonic booms is released by the asteroid as it shrieks across Central America. Would cause eardrums on every continent to burst. Uncertain of what was happening, the dinosaurs were probably afraid and fleeing in all directions. It was going to happen, but any animal that had been there and seen the asteroid would have been instantly destroyed. In actuality, no four-legged mammal heavier than 25 kilograms would survive, with the exception of sea turtles and crocodiles. Because of how swiftly the mountain-sized space rock is falling, even the air itself cannot escape. The air heats up to thousands of degrees virtually instantaneously when subjected to strong compression. Most of the shallow sea that covers the Yucatan is vaporized by compressed superheated air before the asteroid ever makes contact with it. A fraction of a second later, the rock smashes through the remaining material and into bedrock. Then, a series of things start to happen. So much pressure is applied to the Earth by the asteroid impact that rock and soil flow like liquid. The Earth's upward and downward motion is comparable to the double splash of a person performing a cannonball in a pool. A delayed vertical splash occurs after the first splash in all directions as the asteroid's cavity rebounds to the surface. At the time of impact, the first wall of Earth that was gouged outward is more than 32 kilometers, 20 miles, high. When the impact cavity bounces back to create the delayed vertical splash, the Earth rises at a speed of over 1,600 kilometers per hour, 1,000 miles per hour, nearly breaching the Earth's mantle. This mountain of trash nearly completely collapses in a sequence of secondary collapses within minutes. Explosions that left a smaller mound known as a crater's peak ring behind. When the asteroid hits the Yucatan and exerts pressure on the bedrock at the same time, it transforms a 7.5 billion-ton rock's kinetic energy as it is moving at 16 kilometers per second, 10 miles per hour, into scorching heat in a split second. About 1.3 trillion sextillion kilojoules are produced by the Chicxulub impactor. A power more energy than 1 trillion atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima. The molecules are excited by the asteroid's kinetic energy imparted to the soil, rock, and air. to heat levels that are far higher than the sun's surface. The heat dislodges electrons from atoms, ionizing the air to create a firestorm of plasma that expands and reaches temperatures of more than 10,000 degrees while being supercharged with molten rock and propelled out at hypersonic speeds. The near-instantaneous conversion of Earth to gas, the heated, rapidly expanding air, under the impact shockwave generates a gigantic blast wave of pressure that is extending outward at a speed of more than 1,600 kilometers per hour, 1,000 miles per hour. The blast wave from this asteroid would melt you in Texas, deafen you in New York, and shatter glass windows in Buenos Aires if it struck the same location today. Earth is echoed by the Chicxulub impactor like a bell. With a speed of 4 kilometers per second, waves in the crust of the Earth emanate from the impact zone. 5 miles per second. Following that, earthquakes along fault lines occur on all 7 continents. It would shake the ground for 30 minutes after impact if you were on the other side of the planet. The crash creates tsunamis as high as skyscrapers. Within an hour, the first one reached the Gulf Coast. What is now shore is slammed by waves that can reach heights of up to 1,000 feet and up to 600 feet. Tens of miles inland are flooded in Mexico and the southern United States. Rivers' currents are momentarily reversed by the waves, which surge up river bottoms like 30-foot tidal bores. Tsunamis strike the eastern coast of the United States, reaching their height peak 6 hours later at 600-foot high flood walls that strike the shores of Europe, Africa, and the Mediterranean. Waves start to reach every shoreline on the planet within 15 hours of impact. Depending on the geography of the area, the ocean sweeps away whatever in its path and, when the seas ultimately recede, suctions it back into the sea. Although it now sounds like Armageddon, there will soon be even worse catastrophes. 25 trillion tons of Earth are sent on ballistic trajectories, some traveling faster than the speed of light, when the large rock makes contact. Some of these boulders likely made it to the Moon after leaving Earth's gravitational influence and orbiting the Sun. Yet, the majority of the expelled material came back to Earth in less than an hour. These deadly tektites, or shards of glass, pelt the ground at speeds between 160 and 320 kilometers per hour, 100 to 200 miles per hour, some as large as buses but most the size of marbles. Any remaining dinosaurs were struck by this blazing hailstorm, no matter where they were on Earth. Nonetheless, these glass arrows were deadly even if they missed the dinosaurs. These falling tektites cause enough thermal radiation from contact with the atmosphere to start flames all over the Earth. According to some estimations, the planet is heated to the same temperature as a broiler by the combined heat of the returning embers. The majority of trees in the planet burn, which is maybe why only ground-nesting bird species survive the impact. Of the few larger land species to prevent extinction, nearly all have some means of escaping the heat. They had 2 escape options: they could burrow like small mammals, snakes, and lizards, or they could swim away like turtles or crocodiles. The poor dinosaurs would have needed to find shelter from the initial heat blast even if they were on the other side of the globe. Chicxulub occurs to strike a region rich in oil and sulfur, which is one last catastrophic stroke of bad luck for the dinosaurs. The collision releases 30,000 quadrillion gallons of water and 100 billion tons of vaporized sulfur into the atmosphere, where they condense into enormous storm clouds and return as torrents of acid rain, which acidified the oceans. Tens of feet of snow are dumped each day by continental-wide snowstorms at higher latitudes. Yet, the global flood is short-lived since Chicxulub also vaporizes and explosively ejects oil from the Yucatan bedrock, equivalent to 150 football stadiums. The black sooty layer that forms in the stratosphere from this oil coats the planet like a layer of black paint. Carbon does not rain back down because it circulates well above the cloud layer, unlike sulfur and wildfire smoke. And that causes still another significant issue. The amount of sunlight that reaches is decreased by the soot layer that is still present in the atmosphere. 90% of the Earth's surface for at least 2 to 3 years. The return of the tektites causes an initial oven-like heat, which is followed by a profound and protracted frost. Worldwide temperatures plummet by an average of roughly 50 degrees. The only places on Earth to escape this extreme cold are the tropical islands of Madagascar, India, and Indonesia. Evaporation virtually stops during the global freeze, which reduces rainfall by 80%. Outside of these tropical islands, almost the entire planet dries out and becomes a desert. Is there another massive rock out there that is on our way? Where did this one come from? Using information from known asteroids, researchers used a supercomputer to study the evolution of asteroids. The Oort cloud, a sphere of junk at the boundary of the solar system, was identified as the possible source of the Chicxulub asteroid by the two-person team of AVI Lub and Amir Siraj. It might have been a much larger comet that Jupiter's gravitational pull swerved off course, sending it near to the Sun where it fragmented into many pieces. Every 250 to 730 million years, one of these debris may cross the Earth's orbit and collide with the planet. According to this analysis, the question of whether or not another enormous space object would strike Earth is now a matter of when. NASA said on Saturday, December 11, 2021, that the asteroid 4660, which measures 330 meters in length, Nereus flew by Earth at a speed of 6.5 kilometers per second, 14,719 miles per hour, at a distance of around 3.8 million kilometers, 2.4 million miles. Even though you might not believe that is particularly close, even a small change in its orbit might send it directly toward Earth in the future, where it would collide with the planet. On Valentine's Day in 2060, according to astronomers who are tracking this potentially dangerous rock, it will pass 1.1 million kilometers, 745,000 miles, from Earth. Get flowers and finish those engagements early just in case. Remember that the asteroid that triggered the 2013 Chelyabinsk explosion in Russia was about 20 meters wide. The unfortunate fact is that we don't yet know how to protect the planet from a massive space object. But NASA's DART project, or Double Asteroid Redirection Test, will test if a spaceship can navigate to a target asteroid on its own and hit with it on purpose, with it resulting in a kinetic impact that might divert the asteroid from heading straight towards Earth. Dimorphos, a small asteroid moon orbiting Didymos, a bigger asteroid, is the target of DART. In late September 2022, when the Didymos system will be 11 million kilometers, 7 million miles, away from Earth, the spaceship is expected to land. Nonetheless, it is predicted that the collision will only result in a 1% decrease in the moonlet speed. It will take much more than a small spacecraft colliding with an asteroid to stop one that is at least 10 kilometers wide and moving at more than 72,000 kilometers per second. Possibly nuclear weapons, as in the Armageddon movie, will be used. Perhaps you have a suggestion on how to avert a catastrophic asteroid, in which case you'll achieve fame. Please share your thoughts with us and remember to check back often for updates on fascinating events taking place throughout the cosmos. Thanks for watching.